Hi, it's Dave here from Elysium Sophia, and how are you today on this Tuesday, where we've called our show today, So Now We Know, because yesterday Bojo did as he said he was going to do, give us an announcement, and we'll be talking about that today in today's show. So how are you? We are Elysium Sophia, Elysium for all these people that, all you that haven't joined us before, all about wholeness and well-being. And Sophia, named after my wonderful and beautiful daughter Sophia, who's working behind the camera as usual to welcome you to our home here at Elysium Sophia. We're all about hypnosis, about well-being, about meditation, whether that be transcendental meditation, relaxation, tai chi, qigong, yoga, tantric and mantric approaches to help you with motivation, to help you to distress, with anxiety, and help you to be the best version of you that you can possibly be. Personal training, I suppose, for body and mind. And obviously over the last, 4 or 5 months now, we've evolved our channel to a chat show where we invite you into our home to chat about things, to get things off your chest in a mindful way, so you can discuss things, and we talk about all sorts, all the way from the elections in America, through to COVID, through to how things used to be yesteryear, back in the days of yore, where we used to enjoy life before COVID, maybe, I don't know. And Sophia, welcoming people as we go along.
Hello everybody, Penny and Pan here from Elysium Sophia. So the first person we have is Vegan Realist, who says hi David, Pippa and Shared, hi all. The second person we have is Jabbar Sama, who says hello friend, how are you? So hello Vegan Realist, thank you for sharing.
Hi you too, thank you.
How are you today? Thank you for joining us. And Jabbar Sama, thank you for joining us as well. Please don't forget to give us a live stream a Tamsack, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And of course, we're on a couple of platforms now. We're on this platform, and we're also joined with by our friends on the other platform where we host another show, another chat show. And we're also joined by our friends from there that come here, and vice versa. Our friends from YouTube join us on the other side. Not when I say the other side, we're not dead and jumping in a coffin, but we are very, very gothic. But it's nothing to do with that. It's just another platform that we love and we enjoy. So both our platforms. So welcome you all today. If you're from the Philippines, as a lot of our subscribers are, we say hi, how are you? If you're from the Philippines working out in Dubai, or the United Emirates maybe, you might be working in Qatar, or in Iran, or Iraq. You might be working in Asia, the Middle East, anywhere. That type of place. You might be working in different places from the Philippines. You might be in China or Hong Kong or Thailand, where our spiritual journey began in Muay Thai, the science of the 8 limbs, and now train my beautiful daughter in kickboxing, in Thai boxing. You may be from across the pond in America. You may be from the Shih Tzu family. I don't know. You may be from across the pond, and we say hi. You may be from California, our friends from California, Ohio, from Canada, from Texas, from New York, from Florida, lots of different places on both channels that we do. So we say hi to you. You might be joining us from the other side from there. So we say hi. You might be from Europe. The final countdown. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-ba-ba. I always say that because it seems to just go with the flow. So you might be from Scandinavia. Our friends from Denmark, Sweden, and that area. You might be from Scandinavia.
Hello, so we've got Eliza Vino, who says hello host.
Eliza, long time no see, Eliza, that talks to the animals. How are you, Eliza?
Thank you for joining us, and thank you for the Tamsack.
We've not seen you for ages. Hope you're well. We're just saying how our hellos and highs and alohas to all our friends from all over the world. We've just got to say hi to the people from Europe at the moment, from Scandinavia, from Denmark, from Sweden. And of course from here, that personally know Sophia, from school maybe, or from locally. You might be Jack, doing Roboblocks or doing something, I don't know. Jack's mum, Kalal, you might be Ethan, you might be Millie, you might be Ava, or you might be Cheese, I don't know. You could be any one of the friends from Sophia. And if you're waiting and watching, we say hi to you too.
So Eliza said doing good host. We've also got Jalen Albero, who says hello. We've also got Mime, who's a shout-out host.
Hi, how are you?
Jalen said Tamsack done, and Maya said 5th Tamsack. So
hello, how are you all? Welcome to our home today.
said too much busy at work.
Too busy at work. Oh, well, it's nice that you're with us today, Eliza. I miss saying she talks to the animals. It wasn't Christmas. It was Christmas when you were joining us on a regular basis, wasn't it? But then in January, you were joining us again. But obviously, we've called out our broadcast today. Now we know. Simply because Bojo, our wonderful leader, came on yesterday and told us the way out of lockdown for us in the UK. Now, I don't know what it's like for the rest of the world, but I thought we'd discuss it today as one of the first topics. What did Bojo do and what did he say yesterday? The first thing that we know, which is brilliant, is that the schools will be going back as part of this road work, whatever they call it, on the 8th of March. So all our children, all our pupils in our schools will be back, yay, on the 8th of March, which is great news.
So we've got Dwing's guitar, or D-Wing's guitar.
Hi.
Hi, how's everyone here?
We're fine, thank you.
We are good, thank you. How are you? And we've also got Leah Ordonez, who says thumbs up host, so thank you.
Hi, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Eliza has dropped their premiere, so we will check
Cool, we'll check that out later.
And also, Jalen said your voice is like an announcer to the radio. Or
Oh, great! Thank you. It's always nice to have comments like that. It's it's what we do here at the Sim Sophia. You're welcome, and thanks for joining us today. Just talking about Boris Johnson yesterday, or Bojo, as we affectionately know him as, our Prime Minister. The first thing, numero uno, that we're doing now is that we know from yesterday, great message to the House of Commons, where he told us what was going to happen, what was going to happen next. And the first thing, the school was going back. And then, if all being well, the next things that can happen after that. But it's all a bit of a mystery. Oh, it's a mystery. We don't quite know what's happening, but we do know that school is going back. I think we're going to take it in stages now. And I was talking to somebody today who was very sceptical about the virus and about the vaccine. But I think we've got to just go forward with it now. Nearly 18 million, I think it is now, here in the UK that have had the vaccine, had at least their first vaccine, which is great. It means nearly 18 million people have some kind of a protection from farmers. No, not farmers, from COVID-19 in the UK, which is really, really good. That's what we've been wanting to hear. We were chatting today about all sorts, and we were also chatting about how things used to be. Because we do that a lot here at Elysium. We chat about how things used to be, not just before COVID, but a long, long time, many centuries ago, not long after the Bible began. Not quite as long as that, but going back. I was talking to Sophia this morning about the concept of school football. Now, I used to play a bit of football at school, not a lot, just like everybody else. I was a bit of a goalkeeper. And I enjoyed being a goalkeeper, but I was more of a swimmer. I did a lot of swimming, but it wasn't until I left school that I came to power with my main sport, which was kickboxing and Thai boxing out in Thailand, trained in full contact Muay Thai, kickboxing, and came into my all. Hence now I do all this stuff that I do on physical training, mind and body conditioning, and also it was out in Thailand where I discovered Muay Thai and kickboxing and the science of the 8 limbs, and now trained to a high level. But it wasn't at school when I flourished in all this. I was an all-round athlete, I suppose. Did a bit of goalkeeping, did some swimming. I got to a decent level in swimming and enjoyed that. Trained quite a lot in swimming. And had a lot of stories attached to swimming from back there, and enjoyed that. But it wasn't until I left school that I started bodybuilding and started weight training and started the martial arts, starting off with kickboxing, Thai boxing, and loved it. And it's the rest history. It's where we are today now. It taught me all sorts of Muay Thai, and now pass that on to my daughter, who also trains now in Muay Thai, in kickboxing, and I train her myself. And she's also part of a bigger thing as well, and she trains currently doing very, very well in Thai boxing and kickboxing. But we're waiting for lockdown to end so we can get back to train properly, as it were. The World Championships, British Championships, European Championships, English Championships. It's endless, but we can't start back yet until we get the go ahead. And I think from today, from yesterday's announcement, that it's the the 12th, is it, of April, when that ilk will be opening, which will be great for us because we can carry on training before then, but then really get stuck in on the 12th and start looking forward to Sophia winning some more World Championships and some more British and European titles and really getting back into it again. So yeah, roll on that time. But no, let's not push time away. Let's just enjoy things as they are. And as I say, we were chatting about things how they used to be with sport, and I was talking to Sophia, and I was saying, look, something just light came on, and I was just started laughing and couldn't stop really, and I just stopped that. But I was laughing about something we used to play at school, probably at primary school, and even in sort of like late primary school and early in infant school and primary school, and even in high school when we played it, it's football. We had something called goalie wag, which was basically cheating. That's what it was, cheating. And it was, people are watching now, that if you do watch this back, you might remember the good old days of goalie wag, which basically meant that when you put the thing at school where you pick teams and I'll have him and I'll have her and you pick teams and it was always the idiots that were left, wasn't it? Or you can have the. It used to be so embarrassing for these kids. And luckily I wasn't one of those kids, but it must have been. It's so cruel. Because they picked teams, you had two team captains that were big heads, weren't they? Always the big heads that were like, yeah, I'll be a team captain, And they stood for PE and they'd say, right, split the class up, and they'd be team captains, and they'd say, you pick first, and then you get 2 picks. Yeah, that was it. That was the thing. You pick first, but then I get 2 picks. So then the first one was the best one, and then you got the next 2 best ones. So it all works out. But anyway, you always said, pick me. And the idiots, they'd be like, ugh. And what used to be really bad was they used to pick teams, and it was like, I'll have that. No, they got me. And then there'd be probably 15 kids left, and the one big head would say, you can have the rest. And so like one team would have like 7 good players on it, and then the other team would be like 14 or 15 lunatics. And 2 good ones, 2 okay ones, and then 15 wastes of space. But it was really good, and that's where we had something called goalie wag, because probably the second team that started to pick, the first person always picked the best one, but then the goalkeeper would probably come from the second pick, which was, I want somebody as a goalkeeper, and then I'll have somebody else. But then the first person, just before kick-off, would always say, we're playing goalie wag. What? What do you mean we're playing goalie wag? Well, basically, that was the score. Yeah, that was the score. Goalie wag meant that obviously anybody who was nearest to the goal could handle the ball. Cheating. That's what it's called. And everybody was going, yeah, charge and run forward. And I was saying to Sophia, I was saying, how bizarre would that be if a football game started off? So, like, I don't know. For example, here that we're big Sheffield United fans. But can you imagine on Sunday, we've got Sheffield United playing Liverpool. And then all of a sudden they say, right, we're kicking off. Just before we kick off, Sheffield United say, goalie wag, don't forget, playing goalie wag. We're like, what? And goalkeeper just runs out, and it's like, it's an amazing thought, sort of standing there. The other one was that I was talking about, and I'm using my team and our team as an example. Penalty claim it. Handball, penalty claim it. That was an amazing thing. It was just like, if somebody handballed it in the area, one of the big heads, it was usually one of the big heads, would shout, handball, penalty claim it. Take the ball, and they'd take the penalty. And it was one of the big heads that would do it. Handball, penalty, claim it. And if you shouted out first, sometimes one of the idiots used to shout it, handball, penalty, claim it. And somebody said, get off, idiot. They'd be like, they couldn't do it. But if you were quick enough, you could claim the penalty and score. Now, how funny would it be on Saturday again if Sheffield United played Liverpool and they got a penalty? And obviously Billy Sharp takes our penalties, but somebody else shouted, penalty claim it! And so I ran in, got the ball, and said, I'm taking it. Billy Sharp went, what? I take penalties here. The manager's like, oh, what's happening here? But yeah, it was just the farce that was handball, penalty claim it, and goalie wag. We'll play goalie wag, a.k.a. cheating. So things that, as I say, I didn't come into my own in sport while I left school, and then went to a very, very high level with Thai boxing and kickboxing. Competed, at world level. Enjoyed that. But it was always funny thinking back to school sports as well. The things we used to do. I remember my very first time, and I remember it so clearly and painfully. doing high jump at school. And remembering watching high jump on TV. And we all used to do, didn't we? Remember the thing we used to do? We used to run here at an angle, run along and do scissor kick. Scissor kick, that's right, because your legs went like a pair of scissors and went boom like that, and over the top. That was great. Scissor kick. Remember scissor kick, my darling? A long high jump.
So we've got Loverboy TV who says Tamsack host up.
Hi, how are you, Loverboy TV? Welcome to our home today. We're just talking about sport and school sport. And I was just saying a painful one that I remember doing scissor kick, and that was long jump was great. Okay, because long jump first of all was also known as hop, skip, and jump. Yeah, so he did a hop, he did a skip, and he did a jump. And we also know it now as triple jump because that's the more sophisticated name. But it was called hop, skip and jump, or hop, step and jump, or whatever you want to call it. He didn't get a skipping rope out and go, hop, I'm in the kitchen, doing a bit of knitting, out in the bogeyman and out goes you. Didn't do any of that, just did a little skip in between. It was like, but anyway, that was a triple jump. And then after that was high jump. And the high jump was, as we said, the scissor kick. So you'd run, you'd take it from hand. All the, let's be honest, people watching this, all the idiots, all the cack-handers, left-handers, they go from that side. You make two lines, wouldn't you? So all the normal people, you have a line this side, and then you have two cack-handers, wouldn't you, that want to jump from that side. The left-handers, you know how they were at school. The left-handers, strange they were, did everything with their left hand. And the people that were ambidextrous, I mean, you could use both. Yeah, you could use both hands. But these strange people, were left-handed. Or we called it cack-handed. Yeah, cack-handed. Oh, he's cack-handed, him. She's cack-handed. Cack-handed, we called it. It wouldn't be allowed now. I don't know whether they still do it at school now, but we say that at school now, say cack-handed. He's cack-handed, him. Cack-handed, look at him, cack-handed. Doesn't mean there's, not gone, anything like that. There's cack-handed. Cack, meaning rubbish, I suppose. Right with your left hand, cack-handed. But anyway, these cack-handers would go that way. And all the normal kids would all go that side. And all these, I don't know what we want to call them, cackheads, so they'd go around that way. And they'd run from that side. And the normal ones would run in that side. And they would do the jumping. Oh, I just see myself going. On the little clip there. But anyway, everything was fine. I remember doing that jumping. Jumping, and then but higher and higher. It was like limbo, round the clock. Limbo, round the clock. I always wanted to limbo under it. I always wanted, did a high jump. I always wanted to go, Macarena, and go under it, and think how funny it would have been to have said, hey dear man, I'm going to do the limbo. And go under it, say, hey, limbo. Somebody set it on fire, either side, and go under it, hey. I'd have enjoyed that, but anyway, that never happened. That just happened in my mind, It's like how funny it would have been if somebody would have gone and set it up. And lilt, there you go, lilt, with the totally tropical taste. Lilt, because that was a drink back in the horrible stuff, vile stuff, horrible stuff. Lilt. If you remember lilt, everybody, lilt. I hated lilt. It was a mixture of grapefruit and.
I thought you just said lilt, and I went.
Lilt, it was the totally tropical taste, and it was horrible. It was a drink called lilt, I've just remembered it now.
What was it?
It was a mixture of, I think, if I remember, some kind of citric nonsense. Some kind of pineapple and lemon and vile stuff it was awful. But anyway, yeah, because you had Fanta. It was lilt with the totally tropical taste, and it made me think about that simply because I was thinking about the tropical taste that was lilt with the limbo round it like limbo, that limbo stuff. Lilt, the totally tropical taste, But anyway, off we digress, digressing away with a can of lilt, and a Milky Bar kid. But anyway, things we used to do. A finger of fudge is just enough until it's time to eat. A finger of fudge is just enough until you give a treat. It's full of calories, goodness, yet very small underneath. A finger of fudge is just enough to give your kids a treat. Turn out nice again, mother. Finger of fudge. Yeah, we had a finger of fudge and a lilt. Because if one didn't make you vomit, the other would. But finger of fudge were good, they were great. 5 got 5 pence, wish that I'd got 5 pence. What can you buy with 5 pence? You can buy a Caramac bar. There's some for you and me, whenever you 5p went so far. 5p, 2p first of all. I think it was, I've got 2p, what can you do for 2p?
Right.
I can buy a Karamak bar. £14.27 now, a Karamak bar. No, it's not actually, but it's, it's gone up in price.
I was like, what?
Karamak, and it's the most sickly, horrible orange
Alright.
chocolate. It was vile. Again, too much sugar. Just pour some sugar on me in the name of love. Sugar. This horrible. You know, being a diabetic now, it's a diabetic's worst nightmare. Karamak, vile. It's an vile orange chocolate that was so sweet. It was horrendous. I know, but it was vile. Yeah, it was awful stuff. And now I hate it because it's so unpleasant. Yeah, vexed I am about it. Yeah, it's just But anyway, this horrible stuff.
So basically,
it's like very, very sweet chocolate.
It's like having a white chocolate bar,
but twice as sugar.
caramel in it.
Yeah, twice as sugary as you think of white chocolate, and then double the amount of sugar in it,
Yeah.
and colour it orange,
Okay.
and call it Karamak. Basically, it was caramel that was set. You know, in a bit of a Mars bar that you have the caramel
Yeah.
that's like toffee.
Yeah.
It was like that, but a full bar of it. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, this vile stuff, horrible stuff it was. Karamak, get out. Horrible orange thing it was. But anyway, Karamak. Why did I go on about? Yeah, why did I go on about Karamak then? But anyway, I digress. On about Karamaks.
So you're talking about finger fudge.
Finger of fudge is just enough, yeah. And we went on about Karamaks, and we're saying just how bad they were. And Lilts and the Totally Tropical Taste. We were just on about Lilts, weren't we? This vile Lilt. But what I was trying to go back to was this idea of Black Jacks. Used to be a little sweets called Black Jacks. You see, Black Jacks. They were like licorice. And fruit salad, yummy, fruit salad. There was there you could get. Anyway, I was on about how much Karamaks cost, wasn't I? That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I've got 2p or I've got 5p. What can you do for 5p? You can buy a Karamak bar. No, you can't, mate. Get out. But anyway, that was I digress on that Karamak bars, and then we were talking about Karamaks, and then we were saying about the Frosby Flop. That's what I was talking about. I decided in one of my PE lessons that me, myself and I, very schizophrenic, talking to himself in the line before he jumped over the bar, me and my friends, I was going to do a Frosby Flop. Now, for all of you that know, picture the scene, right? I know now, Frosby Flops are only to be made and done successfully. I'd seen it on the Olympics and thought, I'm going to do that. But everybody knows a Frosby Flop can only be done on a crash mat. Frosby Flops are not meant to be done on a sand pit. No, not good. Now, I didn't know. Now, there we were doing all the idiots that side, all the cackhanders. They were running in from that side, and all normal people, we were all running in from that side. Normal, he says, just about to break his back. And I'm running from that way. And I'm like, Frosby Flop. And I thought, wait, and I ran, and to the I don't know, disbelief of our PE teacher, who had never actually told us and never demonstrated to us, look, in any way, shape or form, I want you now, class, to go and break your neck. He never actually said that, because that would be wrong, wouldn't it? That would be wrong. He said everybody wants to jump over, expecting everybody to do the scissors kick. Not me. I decided I was going to do the Frosby Flop, and I ran, and just before I got to the, I forgot to say, there were two idiots holding the bar. Yeah, right, two bullies either side, holding it up, and they moved it. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that, lads. But anyway, even the two bullies were there this time, watching me running it up, thinking, hey, Piggy's on next, hey. I'm going to lift it really high. They ran, and all of a sudden I got to the bar, and just before I did the scissors, I turned my back to the bar, and I, like an eagle, stretched out like that. My back arched like a humpback whale in reverse. Her, to the look at my PE teacher, went, and I went, way, and then I went, boom, and I landed on my back, on the sand. And the world stopped for a few moments while everybody called an ambulance. No, the world stopped, and then the PE teacher went like that. It was good. I refer it that. He went like that, and everybody went, "Picky, you idiot!" like that. And I was like, I
So
thought I was dead.
basically-
I was winded.
Yeah.
I was laid
Oh my
out.
gosh.
Because clearly I'd gone from a height and then dropped
Yeah.
and then went, ooh, and all the air in the world had been sucked out of my lungs. For a
Yeah.
moment, I think I died. And then shook my head and
So basically,
and got up and
you ran up.
Yeah, ran up.
You turned
Turned around,
and jumped on your back.
jumped to my back, hurtled through the air, and then landed
Yeah.
flat on my back
Um,
and winded in a wet sandpit.
so what?
So the sand was hard. Well, and the rest was history, wasn't it? I think.
Were you okay?
I was just winded. And I think the PE teacher said something about idiot. Because they cared then, PE teachers. So I was like, yeah. Idiot.
Idiot.
And I thought, well, hang on, that's a bit harsh. I'm just trying to Frosby flop there, mate.
Well, you weren't meant to do
Yeah,
that.
but I obviously wasn't supposed to do that. But anyway, so yeah, and that was that. So that was that. Now, the second thing I remember, I was quite good at PE. Quite good at different things, not great at, general things in PE. And I also remember in year 7, which was called first year then, because none of this year 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, none of this year 1, 2, 3, 4, reception 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, none of that. It was every time you started a new school, you were in first year.
Yeah.
So when you're in infant school, you're in first year
Yeah.
and second year. Then you're in junior school, you went into first year and second year. Third year, fourth year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you went back again to year 1 again. First year when you went to high school. Anyway, I went to high school. And I remember that they were quite a sadistic. 2 of our PE teachers in there. I mean, I love PE teachers because I am one myself,
Yeah.
obviously, amongst other things. But this is why I've learned, from their mistakes, fondly. Looking back on it now, it's so funny. And now I look like that guy from Grange Hill, that Baxter. This monster called Baxter that was on Grange Hill. I don't actually look like him because I look more like Allah Wahba than Mr. Baxter from Grange Hill. Mr. Baxter was a bad lad. I didn't like him. But he was a personification of PE teachers. I say I look more like I'm going to shout, and some kind of, get my mat out or something. I don't know. But now, yes, because I embrace different religions now, as you can see with the way we do. But this Mr. Baxter on Grange Hill was a big bully teacher. We had lots of strange teachers, and in particular, 2 of our PE teachers early days. And if anybody's watching this, that has just stumbled upon it, it's Dave, it's Picky from from school, talking about our PE sessions, and we had some really great PE teachers, but we had some real. I don't know how to describe them, but bizarre chaps they were. And this particular one decided that it would be a good idea. I tell you, he said to us, right, you need to join some clubs. And because I was a swimmer, I didn't join many clubs. Because I was in a swimming club, I didn't see the need to. But obviously, I don't know why, but I decided to join. I wouldn't join maths club. No, that's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
People who join maths club, no, it's just wrong. It's not really a club, is it? No, it's just sad. Sitting next to people. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, just a personal opinion. I decided one day to try out for the after-school volleyball team. Yeah, and I was 11, and I thought, yeah, okay, we'll go and join the volleyball team. Now, we stayed after school, and I remember specifically doing this volleyball thing, and they put us in with as it was then, the lower sixth formers. And they called it murder ball. We called it volleyball, but they obviously called it murder ball. And the idea was, the first thing was, there was the sadists to get you to serve, first of all. Now, that hurt. Serving a big ball like that, slapping it there, hurt. When you're 11, it hurts, it's not good. Especially, now, don't worry, it's, different balls now, they're light balls, and it doesn't hurt now, but then, it was like basically me giving you, those horrible basketballs, those hard things, that break your fingers if you catch them wrong. One of those, bad lads, not one of them. And you had to 1, 2, 3, ooh, and slap it, and they say, no, that was a foul. Done it once, and it hurts. And again, no, foul. And finally, didn't finish. It was abuse.
Yeah.
Your arm was red.
Was
I'm not serving. Serve properly, lad.
Had bruises all over it.
Ow, yeah, it was awful. But anyway, and we did that. And I remember there was a spike, a set, a dig, all those things. I loved that. But obviously, I remember doing it, and then the big boys, as it were, used to just come around and go and hit it at you, and it would just hurt because you were small, they weren't.
Yeah, but you couldn't. It's like you couldn't move.
Couldn't move.
That fast.
Well, your arm was broken anyway. You couldn't do anything anyway because by the time you served, you were already in pain. And stand there and don't move. That was the idea.
Yeah.
You had to stay and rotate. It was like, oh, okay, rotate that way. We had to rotate round. And they said, okay, the year sevens will play the year. Well, it wasn't the year sevens. It was the first years will play the sixth formers. But anybody with half a brain would have said, okay, there's 3 sixth formers and there's 3 year sevens. So what we'll do is it's 4 year sevens, 4 year ones, first years, and 4 sixth formers.
Yeah.
So they'd have made a team of 8 and put 4 on one side and 4 on the other.
Yeah,
Split it up, and then no, not our school. All the big lads on that side, all the sixth formers on that team.
Just don't play.
Or don't play, exactly. All the sixth formers can go on that side, the big lads, and all the little ones, you bad lads, you can go on this side, and you can play against you. Now, that wasn't going to work, was it? No, wasn't going to work, because every time we served, we were like, disabled, just horrific. We'd be gone, it was like having, like slaps at school, like we've been playing slaps, all that. But anyway, so that was wrong. I remember doing that, and that was, I say fond memories of that, but it wasn't really fond. It was bizarre. But something that I was just, obviously, as you can imagine, the days fly by when myself and my lovely daughter Sophia, we start talking about things, because we talk about school, and obviously with being a teacher myself now, and I kind of learned from the mistakes made back then of how not to let children, bully each other and pick teams, how awful it was for those people. And I remember them clearly, those people who never got picked, I'm not about the teachers. No, the games we picked.
When say for example we pick teams.
Teams,
football, they'd put all the best people on one team.
Yeah.
And then they'd say everyone else.
Just go on that side. Yeah.
So it could be like 5 people.
5 people against 15 or 20. Yeah, because you're all good and you're not good. But yeah, so it was very, very strange. It was a learning curve, which I now use when I'm teaching in things to think, I remember when that was. And the other one was, remember odd even. Everybody should stand in a line. And I do it now. It's really funny because I play mind games with pupils because I know what they're going to do. It's really funny. They say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they pretend they're stupid. And you get 4 in one line. And you say, no, it's easy. I'm going to give you a number, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. And you have to physically pick them up and go, that's number 1, that's number 2. And then the thing is, what's really, really funny is, and again, this is a teaching thing, which is, if you're watching this, you're reminding you. Say you've got a team of people there, and you go, right, okay, right, ready, this is dead easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, off you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, off you go. Now, when you've done that, you're watching the, picture the scene, okay? You've got 16 boys, or 16 girls, okay? You've got 16 pupils, and you're going round, and you go, right, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, off you go. 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 You turn round. Now, in your utopic brain, you expect to see 4, 4, 4. Oh, no. You turn round, and there's 18 people in one line, and nobody in the next one, and one person in the other one. Like that, all gone wrong. So you think, just come back out. So you try it again. So you have to watch it next time, and you say, okay, we'll have 1, 2. Now, you also go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the clever ones want to be with ones, so they work out 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and they start bullying each other and pushing each other out the way because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm not gonna.
Don't name names. No, we don't name names.
Our school.
Yes.
For example, we'll be outside doing PE.
Yeah.
And for example, we know that Miss is going to put us into
teams
of 4.
Not teams that we're doing now. Those
Some
teams.
people
Not teams as in silly
people,
teams.
Like you said, work out the numbers.
Yeah.
So they think, my friend's number 4, so I'm going to work out which position.
Yeah. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And then, for example, Miss will decide not to do that.
Yeah.
And she'll put us into another group.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that, they'll all switch round.
Anyway.
And because it gets confused, we'll have to
Nobody
do it
cares.
again.
I'll do it again. Because that's what pupils do, though. They do it for that.
Yeah.
Because if they're in good teams, they try and do it properly.
Yeah.
But if they're in a bad team, they try and mess it up.
Yeah.
And you know this with child psychology. You know what they're going to do before they try and do it. So you might say, odd, even. You can't call a child odd now because it, can like get them for life. Odd, even. You're odd. No, I'm not odd. You don't have to go through that. Not special needs. Odd, even, odd. No, it's not darling. Odd. You used to call it, odd. You're odd, you. Odd. He's odd him. And by the time you've sorted all that mess out, when they finish up brawling, it's better not using the words odd and even.
But
You know, use 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
But then people's brains don't clock in, because then you know you're one step ahead. So you say 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So you think, no, I'm not going to do that. You say, listen carefully. And they think, no, I'm not listening. I know what you're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. But you don't. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
And they go,
That's good, yeah.
and the brains just go.
That's good.
They do. It's not rocket science, but they go, no, number 2. No, you're not. You're number 3 now, aren't you?
Yeah, that's good, that, yeah.
And they quickly, and then you turn around again, and you've got, again, 14 in one line, 2 in another, and nobody vanished. So then you have to then just put them back in teams. But, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2, 2. Then you've got to remember.
Yeah,
But then you forget, because you're stupid as well. So it's, it's very, very bizarre. That's picking teams. But yeah, it's a lot better than, though. We'll have two of the most popular children, 2 of the most popular students, and they pick everybody, and they say, yeah, I'll have so-and-so, I'll have so-and-so. And then you've got the people going, wanting to get picked. Barry, me. And everybody goes, no, I'm not picking you. But Barry, me. No, not Barry, I'm not picking you. Me. Well, yeah. And then you have the bullies picking the other, telling the team captains who to choose. Pick so-and-so. And they go, no, I'm picking so. No, I'll pick him. No. And then that game goes off. So it's not good. It's vile. It's wrong. So you're better off actually picking it by picking a teacher. Should always pick. So teachers should always pick teams themselves, because you can't trust pupils to pick their own teams unless they're GCSE, and even then it's a bit dodgy. But anyway, hey ho, Peter Quince, we do digress. But yeah, that's just one of the things that we were chatting about today. How funny it was. Back at school. Another thing we do as teachers, and again I do it now. 2 straight lines, please. I've seen in primary school, don't you? 2 straight lines. And it's like, no, it's not straight. I'm not going in until it's straight. Well, we're playing trains. Isn't it though? You do. I remember, when we used to do that. A teacher would come out and say, okay, 2 straight lines. 2 straight lines. It's not straight, that. It's not straight. What do you get? A ruler out. Tape measure it around me. Oh, it goes at the back, doesn't it? Hold it. 2 straight lines. I want 2 straight lines here. I want 2 straight lines. 1 here, 1 here. And now you have to actually. It's really good now being a teacher, because you can. You actually have to account for visual learners, kinesthetic learners, auditory learners. So when you're saying 2 straight lines, it's really funny, because you actually say, I want 2 straight lines. I want 1 straight line here. And you actually walk down the line. Yeah. And you actually say it louder. 1 straight line here. And you actually say it, shout it. And then walk a straight line. I'll walk the line. And all these people are in this line, so you're doing it. It's great. So you sign line. You talking. Are you rhetorical questions from teachers? Are you talking? Yeah, I am. No, it's not a question. It's rhetorical. Do you want to share that with all of us? Yes, I would actually. No, it's not rhetorical. Rhetorical. Would you like to teach the class? Yes, I would. I'll come and do it. Would you like to teach the class? All right, then go on. Then things like that.
People do that.
It's strange, isn't it? It's some people's. It's a rhetorical question. Yeah. I'll wait for you then, shall we?
Yeah.
Really? Right.
Well,
Am I talking? Am I speaking?
If people
Is it talking or speaking?
Example,
speaking, isn't it? It's not talking.
If we have a lesson, like we had a lesson.
Am I talking? Am I speaking?
For example,
Don't mention names.
No, why would I
Could
say
get
that?
wrong, couldn't it? Start talking about that cookery woman. We made it, by the way. Made it today. That horrible cheese pasta rubbish thing. Not nice, that.
Anyway.
Made me feel rather ill.
Say, for example, no, because there was anything wrong with the cooking.
Nothing wrong with the cooking. It was just, too much of it.
Yeah. Anyway,
we digress.
There was
Digest, should I say. Sorry, no.
We had a lesson where one of the teachers said this person was talking.
Yeah.
So one of the teachers said, do you want to teach the lesson? Now, this person already knew what we were doing.
So got up and did it.
Stood up to the front of the class and told everyone.
And stubbed them out.
Yeah. So this person
That's the one that stubbed you out.
actually went up to the top, went up to the classroom and said, what you do is this, and told
I know,
us
what
all
did
the
he do? What did the
answers.
teacher do on that one?
She
I'd have loved to be in that
sat
class.
there, I know.
That'd been like...
Because they'd already done the work, you see. So
as a teacher myself, it's really funny having these conversations, because you could write a book on things that how they are, the tongue-in-cheek things that people do. Stubbed you out. That's another. Stubbed you out. Hey. Another thing you used to do at school, which they're not allowed to do now, which I'm glad they don't do it now, but you've got so-so touch. Okay, one of the, there's some people at school, yeah.
Well,
and but you don't, no, you don't do it. Name of the teacher. And like, if you touch them, you got some kind of like plague or something.
Yeah.
That was rife in the 70s and 80s. So, yeah, it was not nice, that at all. It was like, you've got so-and-so touch. I better be careful what I say, because I nearly said the name of the person then, which we remember. They all had a touch, didn't they? Yeah, they all had a touch. Now, you'll know who we're talking about, and you're not going to mention names either, but, you know, it was so-and-so touch, or, you know, it was, oh, you've got so-and-so touch, and you didn't touch them. And to avoid the touch, you cross your fingers. Yeah. Cross your fingers, you can't get me, you can't get my touch, I've got to cross my fingers. Oh, it's good that, wasn't it? And if you didn't cross your fingers on time, you cross your legs. No, you can't get me. Oh. Off-ground tig, can't get me. Lamppost tig, that was another funny one as well. Lamppost tig. You never look like a lamppost. Lamppost tig, yeah, that was. And the other one that was good, softball. Never did understand that. Softball, I don't know about you guys, but softball was never played with a soft ball. To me, a softball is made of sponge. It's not an oversized golf ball and a big bat. Boom. That ball ain't soft. Yeah? So just for future reference to us teachers, as it were, softball, the clue's in the word. Yeah? Softball. It ain't soft. It's hard. Yeah? I was just, have you got that on? What I was just saying, darling, which was you just come at the right moment there. Softball. Softball is used playing with a hard ball. There is never such a thing. A golf ball is not soft.
Yeah.
And softball, you play softball at school at the moment. Softball, it's like a big game of giant baseball or rounders. It's a big bat and a big ball that's hard, and we call it softball.
Our friend's called Softball Girl, isn't she?
A softball girl, does she? She is, yeah. On the other side, softball girl. Yeah, we call it rounders here. And in America, you call it baseball, don't you? Baseball. I don't know whether it's to do with the bass that you hear.
Maybe.
You know, oh, because it's all about the bass, about the bass. No trouble. I'm all about the bass, about the bass. No, I love baseball, watching baseball. Oh, it's doing it. Oh, wow, look at it. Wow, I've got a little heart. I don't know if you can see that, guys, but, you know, it's like, oh, I love you too. Nice, you've met your goals. Thank you. Thank you. But I love my watch. It says all sorts of things. It swears at me sometimes. Reports me. Does all sorts. You know, if I'm speeding in the car, it sends a message to the police, and the sirens come, woo, 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 all sorts. Snitchers. In other words, snitch. A snitch.
I know,
You're a snitch.
right? This is quite funny.
Oh, is it?
We were...
Jack and Ori, Jack and Ori. Jack and Ori, that's another programme from Black.
I was going somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was at school.
Yeah.
And I said something, and it picked up the sentence.
Oh, wow.
And it sent it to someone.
Sent it so I know, that's awful,
And
isn't it?
So, like,
I have to be careful with that.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, yeah, snitches on you, doesn't
That
it?
is a very
Snitch,
good
you're a
word.
snitch. That's another word, isn't it? Snitch. Somebody snitched on
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
What does snitch mean? Snitch, you're a snitch. You're a snitch. Snitch, snitching. Yeah, and the other thing
Don't snitch. I don't
oh, the horrendous thing at our school, which was a saying that there was anybody who wanted to fight at our school, just the teachers, you know, wanted to fight. They used to say bottom gate 10 to 4. Bottom gate. Well, they didn't actually say that. They said bottom gate 10 to. There's always the idiots that that said it. So it was bottom gate. If you said bottom gate 10 to 4, young man, punch you in the nose, then it wouldn't be right, would it? Wouldn't sound right, because I was just saying, my darling, how you say things at our school. It sounds some kind of like bizarre school hours, but our school we finished originally at 10 to 4. And if anybody wanted to fight, and I was just saying these teachers wanted to attack each other, they'd say 10 to 4 bottom gate. But they didn't actually say that, they just said 10 to 4 bottom gate. Yeah, I was like, yeah. 10 to 4 bottom gate meant there would be a fight. And he didn't like it because he gets very bored. He said, tonight, of all nights, there's going to be a fight. Bottom gate 10 to 4.
Yeah.
Now that was vile because everybody had to go past the bottom gate at 10 to 4, and everybody knew at our school when there was going to be a fight. Because they knew, we all knew. Everybody knew by 12 o'clock if some fatwa had been organised. Yeah, if something had been, Salman Rushdie had been in and say, oh, I've put a fatwa on you now. It was also the same people. 10 to 4 bottom gate. Oh, boo. So you had to go through the gate at 10 to 4, bottom gate, and there would be a fight. Yeah. Two numpties kicking bumpties out of each other. But it was also the same types of people. Bottom gate 10 to 4. Now, bottom gate 10 to 4, it was like a fatwa that you'd had on you. It was like, oh, wow. And you knew that people knew that they had to go through with it because, this fatwa had, been pushed upon them. But what got me, when you think about it in hindsight, was we all knew at 12 o'clock that there was going to be a fight at 10 to 4. So too did everybody else, the members of staff, who never arrived at 10 to 4. Always came at like 5 past when it had all finished.
Yeah, they knew what
was happening. They knew the bullies were out.
Yeah.
They knew some bully was going to attack another. But I suppose it was like I don't know. Sometimes I think about it. Did they just think survival of the fittest? It'll just natural selection. Let them kick hell out of each other, and it'll be done with. I don't know what they did back then, but it seems to me that they lived their lives like the candles in the wind, proverbial candle. Anyway, they knew it was going to happen, and they let it happen. 10 to 4 bottom gate. But the funniest thing was when we changed the time, because we changed then from 10 to 4 finish time to 25 to 4. But people still used to say, the idiots that used to fight, 10 to 4 bottom gate. By that time, everybody had gone. Hey, that was funny, that. For the first 4 or 5 weeks, because these thickos, they hadn't worked it out. 10 to 4 bottom gate. Fine then, mate. I'll see you there. I'll be gone ski. I finish at 25 to. I'm off. Oh, he's doing it again, look. That fellow's going like that. Yeah. So for the first, it was so funny, the first couple of weeks, while these idiots had worked out, because we all know what they were, they weren't plowing the head, well, these idiots who used to fight at 25 to 4 bottom gate, you know who you are. So when it first changed over, 10 to 4 bottom gate, okay, then I'll be home then. Hey, no problem, I'll be on the bus. I wasn't, I was walking home with my friend, I'll not mention names, but anyway, 25 to 4, 10 to 4 bottom gate, for a fight. No, 25 to, I'll be gone, won't I? So, what are you going to do, wait while 10 to? But then they realised. And then it all stopped. Because then they started saying, 25 to 4 bottom gate, 25 to 4 bottom gate, 25 to 4 bottom gate. The teachers then, as they evolved, did actually cotton on. It was almost like the task force. It's like the police force today. Police now, football fans, they're onto it now. So football fans can't fight anymore. They can't organise things like that because it's sorted. They've got it boxed off. So if a group of fans want to fight, before it takes place on the internet or it's all been arranged, the police are there and they stop it. So it doesn't happen. So at 25 to 4, bottom gates, for a few months, probably about a year or so, it carried on at 25 to 4, bottom gate, but then people became a little bit more civilised, I think. And the teachers then said, no, we're not having this, which good on you. They moved down and made it a bit more, sensible and stopped these lunatics attacking each other at 20, because it was nice for people to walk through it. If you were a bit, I must admit, when I was at school, I was like, I didn't like getting involved in any of that. Because obviously, as I said to you before, I'm a kickboxer now, love it now. But back then, I was a nice person. Didn't like this, it was quite daunting especially for like 11, 12-year-olds, seeing this, 25 to 4 bottom gate business. I didn't like it, I must admit. I didn't like to see this. I never hung around for it. I didn't want to see 2 people kicking some. Now it's fine, Now I'm in the ring with my daughter, and now we're doing it ourselves. A PE teacher, and also amongst other things. But back then, it was bizarre. Looking at people organising these things, and it wasn't nice for people going through. So teachers stopped it then, and it all stopped then because it just didn't sound right. Because then we started to finish. Wait at the very beginning, a very good place to begin. We started to finish at 3 o'clock. School finished at 3 o'clock. Now it just didn't sound right. Bottom gate 3 o'clock. No, we're not doing that now. Doesn't sound right. We found bottom gate 10 to 4. That went okay. Bottom gate 25 to 4. Now 3 o'clock bottom gate. No, that just didn't sound right. So they didn't do it anymore, except to fizzle out. But then the people just used to hang around the bottom gate. And, certain idiots, I remember now, used to hang around the bottom gate. The best ones were the people who had left school and came to hang round the bottom gate at 3 o'clock. They were the bad eggs. Other ones had been excluded. Yeah, they didn't want to come to school. They wanted to get excluded. But then when they got excluded, they spent more time in school than when they were at school.
Yeah.
And that's crazy,
Why?
because people, I'm just talking now about, that was another thing that we used to be strange at school. These numpties
Yeah.
that got excluded from school back then.
Yeah.
Because they were then, let's be honest about it. You know, they were head the balls, weren't they? They got excluded from school because they didn't want to go to school.
Yeah.
So they got excluded from school. You get this? Excluded from school because they didn't want to go to school. And then at the end of school, they used to hang around school
Oh, yeah.
at the bottom gate
Yeah.
because they wanted to see their mates.
Yeah.
But they worked that hard to get excluded
Yeah. They might as well just.
Might as well just stayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
and towed the line a little bit. I don't know, but call themselves Sue. A boy named Sue. I don't know. It's a coward of the county, all that kind of thing. So songs around didn't help at that time, did they? Because there were songs that was inciting violence. Tonight of all nights, there's going to be a fight. Billy doesn't like it because he gets very bored. And then we did what, Madonna?
These people are listening. It's like
Listening, yeah. I predict a riot.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, songs like that, they help. But back then, certain songs used to kick people off. It was at a time, and again, thinking fondly of... there were songs... there's gonna be a riot, there's gonna be a riot, there's gonna be a riot, yeah, come on, feel the noise, and all this, bad lads. And then the skinheads, yeah, because I was around when the skinheads were around. And now I am one again. If I'd had this at school, people would have run, wouldn't they? Hey, a bad lad, Picky, what are you doing there? Like it. I dyed mine yellow at school, white or yellow. For years and years and years, told people it was the chlorine in the pool. Hey, how they fell for that one. But anyway, we digress. But I got brown eyebrows and white hair. Didn't quite work out, did it? But anyway, we do digress. And a mohair jumper from Hickory Dickory Shop. That wasn't what I got into year 5. No, year 5, 5th year. Mohair jumper. I used to wear, I can remember now, I must have looked right, TK. Jam shoes. They were jam shoes. They were called jam shoes because there was a band around that's called the Jam, and I had jam shoes, which were a bit like trainers but more trendy. Smart R's jeans, which were very very tight jeans, and a mohair jumper that I got from Hickory Dickory Shop, which was like a punk shop. That was in, I don't know people that know it, was near the Peace Gardens in the, we live near Sheffield, between Manchester Sheffield area, and it was a very famous shop. There was another shop there at the same time called Impulse Clothing. And I do talk to Sophia about this, which is very, very strange, because at a time back then, it was hilarious, because it was a melting pot. A melting pot for different students and pupils and children and adults and young people were experimenting with fashions. With you got the Human League, the New Romantics, you've got the skinheads, you've got the rockers, you've got mods, you've got punks, you've got ska, you've got punk rock, you've got glam rock. All descending in this melting pot. All these people expressing themselves with different types of music. It was an exciting time to be around. But it came with it, this youth culture or subculture. The music came with it. So you had the skinhead movement, who were, the skinhead clothes, and the skinheads were split into different categories. Now, I didn't realise back in the time that I used to cause race riots, not even know it. Yes, me. I did, my darling. Cause riots, didn't even know it, because I remember... I didn't know. Now, forgive me if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong about this, because I still can't get my head around it. But for a short while, I was never kind of like a badass, as it were. But I was into skinhead music. I liked skinhead music, but I liked the music. I like punk. A lot of people didn't know I was into punk rock, but I hadn't got anything to rebel against because I was white middle class, upper class, middle class, whatever you want to call it. So I hadn't got anything to rebel against. And so, just kind of like was a bit, rebellious in my own mind, as it were. But a lot of the punks around the time were from middle class, upper class backgrounds. The mods, they were from different backgrounds as well. They were, but I was a mixture of all sorts. That's what I still am, I suppose. And that's where it all started, reading back at school. And sometimes the reason I came out of certain things was because I never ever wanted to be a full whatever.
Yeah,
because I didn't want to be a full punk. because I didn't just like punk. I didn't want to be a full mod because some of the mod 60s clothes were absolutely vile. You know what I mean? It was like he just walked out of 1962 and singing bits and pieces, I fall to pieces, bits. I don't want to wear that, it's bobbins, I'm not wearing that. But if you didn't wear that, you weren't a proper mod, get stuffed. I didn't like that, you know, so I used to wear a mixture of all sorts of different subculture clothes, which must have looked hideous to people. What are you? A mod, a rocker, a punk, a goth? What are you? I was a mixture. But people back then were not mixtures. You were either one or the other. You know, you were either a mod, or a rocker, or a skinhead, or a ska boy, a rude boy, punk, or a new romantic. But I suppose what I'm trying to get at here was a melting pot. There was so in effect the skinheads shopped in their shops, the mods shopped in their shops, the rockers shopped in their shops. They were the bad lads as well. You know who you are. Bullet belts, bullet belts. They had not real bullets, by the way. Mind you, I don't know. Some of these rockers were definitely the rockers at school. I remember all had a bullet belt. They used to wave them around and hit people. They hurt when you hit them on the knuckles with those. Vile things they were. Bullet belts. So you had bullet belts, they had all sorts. But anyway, another thing at the time they had as well, which was funny, really funny, my darling, just while I digress about things. Yeah. Flick knives. Obviously they didn't have flick knives, but I remember a friend of mine wanted to look cool and had a flick knife, but it was a comb.
Oh, right.
So it was a time of Grease. You know, tell me more, did you get very far? Tell me more, like does he ever, and all that was, Grease, round the drive-in, Branded a fool. I thought it was Brandon's a fool. Brandon's a fool. I did it. I used to get songs mixed up, by the way. What will they say Monday at school? Sandy. And all that business, Grease. Now, a friend of mine had a flick knife comb.
Yeah.
Because he used to go, tell me about it, stud. He didn't say that, that'd be wrong. But he was like, in Grease, and they go, summer days drifting away, oh, the summer night, oh, ooh, like that, And they used to get the cameras out, ding, like that. Could she get me a friend? Ding, like that.
Yeah.
It turned colder, that's where it ends. So I told her we'd still be friends. And then he gets his comb out and flicks it out. But it was, so they had flick knives because they were from, they were hard Americans. They were all into, that kind of thing. Now, and then they went on to have stun guns, the same people. But anyway, I digress, go back again. But so you had the mods with their clothes, and there was I, wearing a mixture of all sorts. I had my jam shoes on. I had my Smart-R's jeans, which were jeans where you had to sit in the bath to make them fit. Because if they weren't tight, they weren't Smart-R's. Smart-R's, play on words, arse, Smart-R's, Smart-R's, Smart-R's. And some of you were very lucky, you had jeans with piping down the side. I didn't mean pipers, people go, that'd be wrong again, wouldn't it? Piping. So I had two-tone jeans, two-tone, from ska and all that business, but I also had a funk belt. So I'd have two-tone jeans. Yeah, it must have been, looking back at it now, people must have thought I was strange. Because I'd have so picture the scene, okay? I've got two-tone jeans on. Are you following this, Madonna?
Yeah. Two-tone
jeans, which is basically two-tone meant that when you move direction, your jeans were a different colour.
Right.
So you had, they got little stitching in them that made them glow and, change colour, which were great. So you had two-tone jeans with a piping down the side, and the piping was either bright green or bright red or bright yellow or something like that. Now we also had, hey Annie, I'm not your daddy, King Cole and the Coconuts. Yeah, I'm not being facetious now, I'm just, not mentioning King Cole and the Coconuts. Then you had the funk era. So you had a melting pot of funk and mods and rockers and hippies and punks and goths and all sorts. So picture the scene. There I am with my Smart-R's jeans with a little piping down the side, which was a bit of a hip-hop influence. And then I had jam shoes on, which was a bit of a jam influence. Then I had a mohair jumper on, which was from Hickory Dickory Shop, which was a big shop, was a punk shop. And my hair, obviously, brown eyebrows, and then white hair, which I told everybody it was through swimming, because I was swimming there. It was chlorine. How foolish they were to believe that. But anyway, yes, it was... but anyway, different clothes. Now, what I was just trying to tell you all, was just what made me smile, was obviously, if you had mods and rockers and punks and goths or whatever around the time, they all shopped in their own spaces, didn't they? They all had their own little shops to shop in. Because if they didn't, if they met up with each other, they'd fight.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it. That's what they did, apart from the hippies. I felt sorry for the hippies.
I know, yeah.
They used to sit there going, vegetable rights and peace, sitting there, minding their own business, and people would jump on them and attack them. Now, it wasn't hard, guys, to attack a hippie. Because, like, Neil from the Young Ones used to sit there and go, oh dear, vegetable rights and peace. And they weren't hurting anybody. They were sitting, minding their own business, and some idiots would come on and kick 7 bells of banana out of them, and then say, oh, I've just smashed a hippie. It's not that hard, that, mate. It wasn't hard. If you're one of those people, shame on you. Because it wasn't hard, it wasn't clever. And these hippies were really nice, you know, just laid back. Dylan the Rabbit, you know, sat there in vegetable rights and peace. Letting in water. So yeah, these guys were just scapegoats for everybody. But anyway, what I was trying to say was that these people shopped at different places for a reason. But then came along this shop called Impulse. Yeah, and this shop was in Sheffield, and it was on Cambridge Street, they called it. And downstairs, it had all mod things. Yeah. And then at the back of there, it had kind of like skinhead stuff. And then on the other side of the shop, it had rock stuff. Now, we've already got a problem. You can see this, can't you? See what happened?
Yeah.
So you get mods in there, fighting through past the rockers, fighting through the skinheads, then the punks. To this day, there wasn't much trouble in that shop. But I don't understand why, because all 4 or 5 different subcultures all ascended on that shop. You know, and when they were in there, they were kind of like, you got a skinhead walking past the rocker, which normally would kick 7 bells of proverbial at each other. But in the shop, they'd like say, excuse me, mate, yes, oh, thank you. And then they'd get outside and attack each other. But in the shop, they were quite nice to each other. You know, it was really, really strange. And there was another shop called X Clothes that we used to shop at. That was another punk shop. That was brilliant. I used to love shopping. That was on Leopold Street in Sheffield, called X Clothing or X Clothes. A big X on there. There was some punks. It was great in there. I loved that shop. And the shop that everybody remembers from that era was there were 2 shops in Sheffield in the city centre in that era, because we used to do the biggest area to where we lived, the city area, and it was called Rabina. Or Ribena. Never knew whether it was Ribena or Rabina.
Yeah.
Rabina, we used to call it. Now, it was called Rabina. And Rabina, they had, if you ever watch, it was really funny, Miss Madonna, but if you ever watch, with Woody and all that in it, you know? Yeah, this is England.
Yeah.
Now, parts of that are filmed in Sheffield, at the market in Sheffield. Now, it's not supposed to be, it's supposed to be Derby or supposed to be somewhere else, but some of the scenes are set in Sheffield. And I do remember fondly this shop, Rabina, because Rabina had, I think, now you're getting me wrong, but they had a market stall, Rabina, and a shop itself called Rabina. And you could buy all your shoes from there that were very trendy. They were bizarre shoes, jam shoes, winkle pickers, and winkle pickers then with buckles on them. Pointy shoes, which could take someone's eye out. So they were amazing shoes, these shoes. But Rabina was the place to buy your shoes from. And the New Romantic shop there, the mod shop there, the punks shop there. The rockers didn't, they just walked about in trainers and things like that. I don't know. But it was definitely a place to be. Rabina, I remember it so well. But from the back of that was also, at the time, bowling shoes. Bowling shoes were quite in fashion, and people used to steal them from the bowling alley. They used to have numbers on them, so you knew that they'd been stolen from the bowling alley because they got numbers on them. But the bowling shoes that sold in the shops were slightly different. They didn't have numbers on them, so some of these mods used to go and get bowling shoes. which was strange, but and they were so uncomfortable, these bowling shoes. He says, wearing the winkle pickers with the toes that came to a point like that. Very interesting. So yeah, just a bit of a blast down memory lane to think about the shops that we used to talk about, and then don't even get me started on the clubs that are around, the fashions. And I suppose I'm making an apology, me, because I was a total mismatch and a total mixture of all sorts of things back then. I wasn't. Everybody thought that I was into this particular thing, but I wasn't. I wore things from that genre, but I was also very much in a gothic, in a punk. Like some skinhead music, like some at the time a little bit older I was when I started liking a bit more different types of rock, but always a big mixture, bit of a new romantic inside, bit of a punk inside, bit of a goth inside, bit of mod inside, but again didn't want to be a full mod because I wasn't into the old 60s bobbins. Let's be honest, I didn't like it. I didn't like the bits and pieces, default to pieces, all that kind of rubbish. New Faces, Small Faces, not New Faces. That was a programme on TV again in the 70s. New Faces, when they say, you're a star, superstar, lovely hats and a new guitar, and I know that you'll go far 'cause you're a star. It was a prequel to, the programmes they're on now. What do you call it? Pop Idol, and Britain's Got Talent, and that type of thing. It was a prequel to that. People used to come on there. Lenny Henry won it one year. That was amazing. Roger DeCourcy and Nookie Bear. I think they won it one year. But it was. But I remember so fondly Lenny Henry winning it. And there was a grumpy guy called Mickey Most. Not Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. And he always used to give 8. I'll give it an 8. Because it was out of 10. Yeah. He'd never give it a 10. If he liked it, he'd give it an 8. It's a bit like 10 from Len, but it was an 8 from Mickey Mouse. No, not Mickey Mouse. It's called the host or whatever his name was. Yeah. But I saw another farmer there. Look, coming on. Farmer. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, maybe we'll go and come back down memory lane again next time. But it's time to bring it to a close a little bit today because we've gone on and on and on. But, very, very strange going down memory lane to talk about things you like to do. But we have digressed and we've gone down memory lane to share a few things from the past. For you today, because once we start, once you chop, you can't stop. Once you pop, you can't stop. Pringles adverts. That was another thing, wasn't it? Adverts. We must next time, if people have enjoyed this chat, we must digress and go back down memory lane again because that was just a start, wasn't it? I'm having so much fun. My lucky number's 1. Ooh, 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 ooh. All that kind of stuff. There's another 6 or 7 shows in there. Just thinking back to how things were and nostalgia, because it is nostalgic. Living through it was quite painful for many, many reasons. Especially for me, I remember all the time because I didn't come into my element really until I left school, and it was a long time since I left school, and then that's when I discovered different things. And I really started to get into kickboxing, into Thai boxing, into finding my inner goth, my inner self, and my mindful self, but also my boxing self. And never again would I be picked on. Never again would I be spoken to by these turds that used to speak to me like they did at school and after leaving school. But I remember this era. I don't say fondly, with a wry smile. What we've been talking about today, because every rose has its thorn, and again, the next time we do our show, we will digress and talk more about this. It's been great sharing these things with you today. So before we go, my darling, before we go on to the other side and do our other show with our other friends, do you want to say anything to anybody before we go?
Thank you everybody for joining us today. If you have joined in the background, thank you for joining us. If you have joined us in the chat, thank you for joining us as well. Don't forget to give this live stream a thumbs up or a thumbs up. Please don't forget to put the notification bell on, so we hope to see you all next time. Stay safe and thank you for joining us.
Yes, the great Sophia says there. It's great. We are predominantly all about wellness, wholeness, and well-being. Meditation therapy, mindfulness meditation, hypnosis, and you being the best version of you that you can possibly be, because that's the main aim of what we do at Velicium Sophia. We're all about life transformation. We're all about hypnotherapy. We're all about life coaching, personal training for mind and body, and helping you to be the best version of you that you can possibly be, and giving you the confidence to go out and be what you want to be, to do what you want to do, and to just say, this is me. I am what I am. I am my own special creation, because that's what it's all about. It's about empowerment. It's about us being us. It's about embracing different religions, different cultures. It's about us embracing the differences that make us unique. It's about embracing the rainbows of the world. It's about us being ourselves and true to ourselves, whether that means that you're whatever you are, be proud to be whatever you are. Because no one has the right to tell you what to be, or what to think, or how to think. Because you are unique. Yeah, if you're straight, if you're gay, if you're black, if you're white, if you're transgender, whatever you are, you are what you are. You're your own special creation. And you should be proud of who you are. So until next time, stay safe. Stay calm, stay together. And thank you for joining us today at Elysium Sophia. And as we usually finish our programme, a massive, mindful, very, very mindful and cultural Namaste.